like I was scammed honestly by an agent. This is things you're gonna go through is like you're gonna lose a lot of time and money. A club has a contract ready for you in the third division and they're in third place, so they might get promoted to second.
All right, welcome back to another episode for the Potros FC podcast. Today we got with us Tushar Tolani, the old player of ours. He's moved on, one of the few players that have gone on to play professionally. Super excited to talk about him, hear his story, and I'll pass it to you to introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me on, Ben. Really glad to be here. My name is Tushar Tolani. I'm 20 years old. I used to play for Potros in the past, and now I'm currently playing professionally in Dubai.
Super excited to have you. Like I said, you joined the club back when you were about 17 years old.
Yep.
At first, it was just to kind of train and play against some older guys, but you earned yourself into a role, and you were kind of a pivotal player for us in that. At just 17 years old, competing with these guys, you brought about like a certain like composure to you for your age, and I mean it's shown now. You have a professional contract, so it's interesting, and we're excited to kind of learn more about your story. About yeah, I mean just like kind of kicking it off from the beginning and joining UPSL at 17 years old. How was that experience for
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of give some backstory on that. I came from Spain for playing for 2 years. So I was still playing in the academy system. So in Spain, I was playing like U15, U16 academies, playing against other top like La Liga academies. And, at the end of my 2 years, like I had the offer to go back the next year. And I kind of tilted towards that. But at the end, like for some financial reasons and things of that sort, that told my parents, like, let me try start going up the ladder in America. Because, the whole reason I kind of left America was in the beginning was to get more experience and more development because we weren't really getting that at the academy level in America, a technical and tactical standpoint. So when I came back, actually through one of your past players, Lucas, I picked up like a summer job just to train some few kids. And one of the other coaches, he was a current player for Potros at that time.
Mhm.
I just came back from Spain. I was really looking for a club. I was talking to one of the academy coaches in Atlanta United because that was like one of my biggest goals was to get into the academy system of Atlanta United. And he told me, well, look, you're going into like U19 soon. So why don't you find a UPSL team? Because our U19s play in UPSL. So let's see how you can play against them for a couple months or in that league.
Mhm.
So Lucas actually told me, hey man, there's Potros. They're a great club. They train, at this place, and it has good people around you. So it's a good place where you can, show your skills and compete against older players. And for me, that was always a big thing was competing against older, stronger, and faster players. Because as a young age, I like to be a technical player, and I like to use what I can do with the ball. So at a young age, I love playing against older players, people stronger than me, because it pushed my technical abilities,
Yeah.
to play faster, think faster and stuff. So when I came to Potros in the UPSL, it was mainly to get experience playing against like older players. And in the UPSL, they have like players who have played professionally in other countries.
Mhm.
And I think Potros, like, they have a good like professional environment. So that's the first thing like I noticed was like, okay, I'll be in good hands for the next few months. And I really wanted to showcase myself for Atlanta United because the coach told me like that's the place where you need to prove yourself now.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, UPSL was a pivotal like point. I think I was there for like a season and a half,
Mhm.
and it was really important for my career because now I learned like, okay, this is how I need to play in order to compete with older and faster players at just 17, like you said. Like I was really dependent on my technical ability, so it's like, how do I manage that against experienced players?
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, like you always playing against older players for the majority of the season, and then even when we did play the Atlanta United Academy, I remember they had players that had already graduated college at that point too. They were
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were called the U19s, but because there was no like age
There's no,
restriction in the
yeah,
league, they had some like 21, 22-year olds as well, and you were still competing with them. But yeah, I mean, no, I'm
yeah.
glad that like helped play a pivotal role. But I mean, over time, like you mentioned, you played with us like for like a season or two, and kind of moved on then to then play professionally. Can you walk me through kind of how that process was like? Like, how did you go like from when you were at our time with us to signing that contract?
Yeah, so I mean, really like when I was playing with Potros, like obviously I was developing in a good environment, and I always knew that like the next goal was to either go back to Europe in a U19 team or Atlanta United, or just start getting into like trials for professional clubs.
Yeah.
So in the US, they have open trials and stuff, which I don't really recommend now because
Yeah.
not all of them are really true.
Kind of like
Um,
a shot in the dark sometimes.
yeah, and sometimes they're just kind of the professional clubs are just doing something for the community.
Yeah.
Uh, but I started going to like I turned 18 years old, and like my father said, "Hey, let's just start going because MLS Next Pro just came out, which is
Hmm.
like the reserve for the MLS teams." So he's like, "Let's see how you face up against these guys." So obviously, I went to a few open trials in USA, and some of the trials went well, and one of them went really well, and I really thought I was gonna get signed because they kept inviting me back.
Hmm.
So from the open trial, they invited me to day two, day three, and then at the end, just no feedback, nothing. And at the end, like when I kept pushing for an answer, they're like, "Oh, you're just too young." So it was kind of disheartening because at that
Yeah.
time, me, like I'm always training myself and trying to look for the next opportunity. So when you go through like three or four trials and there's no response, you feel a bit down.
Yeah.
So I was like 18 and a half at that time, and I'm just trying to find like what can I do to break through to that next level because I was already training every day. I was training with private coaches. I was in Potros in and out, like at the second season,
Yeah.
and I was trying to see like what can I do, and the main thing that I realized is my name is not really getting out there.
Hmm.
I realized that like networking is a huge thing. You have to network yourself as a player because at the end of the day, football is a business, and you have to sell yourself for anyone to take you seriously,
Yeah.
especially at the professional level. So I learned that, and I had a CV and videos, so I started sending it out to many agents, coaches, club staff, just really reaching out to anybody.
Hmm.
And I remember the other day I was talking to someone, and I was like I almost sent out like hundreds of emails. Like I was sending like 100 emails per week, like just emails to find going on club websites, finding their staff, their directors, just anybody who works there, and just sending my stuff and saying, "Hey, this is where I've played. This is my CV highlight video. Can you please give me a chance? I'm ready to come down there, whether it was in the U.S. or Europe or wherever."
Yeah.
And actually, at that time, like funny to say, like Ronaldo, he like went to Saudi, so it was like a huge thing in the beginning of 2023, I think,
Yeah.
or yeah, around that time.
Hmm.
So like it was a huge thing, and everybody's talking about Middle East. So I was like, you know what? Let me just take a look at it.
Yeah.
So I went, LinkedIn, using emails, using club websites, and I started checking out Saudi, UAE, Qatar, these countries, and like I was really surprised that like these countries have like one, two, or three professional divisions. And when I started looking at the clubs, I'm like, wow, like they've been here for many, many years. Like some of the
Hmm.
clubs have been founded like 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago. So like it was cool to see like it was kind of a part of the world that football had not discovered yet. I
Yeah.
think like Ronaldo making that jump like really opened a lot of doors for a lot of players.
Hmm.
So I mean, just more networking with those people in the Middle East, and somehow an opportunity came out in Dubai, and I went to Dubai in August of 2023. Um, it was like I remember I was actually ready to join Potros the next season. I was in preseason with you guys,
Yeah.
and I got a call to just come for a trial in Dubai. So I went there. It didn't go well at all. Like I was scammed honestly by an agent.
Mhm.
So a lot of players who are trying to go professional, like this is things you're gonna go through is like you're gonna lose a lot of time and money. And like I hope like that doesn't happen and people are becoming more aware.
Yeah.
So I was like scammed by an agent because he basically took me to like two or three clubs in Dubai and just made me train and took my money. So like he just told the club, just let him train for a few days and that's it.
That's crazy.
So they do that here, they do that in Europe a lot.
I've heard so
So
many stories like that.
yeah,
It's
like
wild.
I was talking to the coach at a first division. Like, so some of the trials were with U19s and some of them were with first teams.
Yeah.
And with one of the first teams, like, they put me in a friendly match because the coach of the team actually really liked me. So I was only like 18 at the time, and I was like playing against other professionals in like a second division team. So it
Yeah.
was crazy. So I was feeling like hyped up, good. And then like after like the agent was like, yeah, they don't think you're good enough. You don't show personality. And then like I talked to like the assistant coach, and he's like, yeah, we're full. We're looking for a striker actually. So like the agent knew I was like an attacking midfielder, and like they were just looking for a striker. So like a lot of times that happens, and it just puts you down, like I said. And the main thing I want to tell players is like just keep pushing, because if you're
Yeah.
always like trying to push for it, like something's gonna crack open. So actually, one of the scouts saw me play in Dubai when I was there,
Mhm.
and he invited me back. So that's really what happened. Is I came back with like a couple thousands of dollars down,
Yeah.
flights, hotel, food, accommodation, and going
Mhm.
paying the agent, and then like I had nothing. And in December of 2024, I remember this like really clearly. An agent literally on Instagram, he's like, "Hey, a club has a contract ready for you in the third division, and they're in third place, so they might get promoted to second."
Yeah.
So it was just like actually on December 31st. Like I always tell my friends this, I was getting ready to go to my first party of the year. Like I not partied the whole year. Like I don't really go out much. I'm not really social like that. I'm really just focused. And one of my friends and I invited me out to like a hangout for New Year's.
Yeah.
And while I was in the way in the car, I get that message. So like I was like, wow, this is like crazy. Like I've been so focused
Yeah.
this whole year trying to push for a professional contract, and many people told me no, it's not possible. And like you're in high school, so a lot of distractions. So I was just so focused, and I was like, wow, this could be something great. And obviously it's your first contract, so you're gonna jump at it.
Yeah.
uh, so like that's kind of how it happened.
Wow. Man, what a story, man. And like the business and networking side of it is crazy because it's like you said, football is business, and it's just like that's just for good or for bad, that's just how the world
Yeah,
operates
it's
as
just how
well. You can be amazing at what you do, but if nobody knows that you're good at it, then they're not going to give you a chance. Like the trial, like if you have a 2 hour tryout and there's hundreds of people or a lot of people and you only get a little bit of time, that's not really an indicator to show what you're capable of. So it's like
yeah, of
having
course, yeah.
having somebody that you trust tell you, hey, this guy is good. Like for us, when you joined us, we had Lucas that he vouched for you and said, hey, give this guy an opportunity, I can vouch for him. That's more trustworthy than kind of like, oh, let's just see this guy play for 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
so you have to get your name out there. That's
yes,
really good, man. And also, sorry about the scam, but I'm glad it worked out in the end. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy. I've heard so many stories. It's always you pay for your flight, you pay for your hotel, you pay for everything, and you pay the agent.
Yeah, they had no intention of signing you in the
Exactly.
first.
Yeah. So no, man, that's cool. And I mean, since you've become like pro, and what's the name of the team that you play for right now?
So last year, like when I first signed my contract, I was with D Gardens,
Uh-huh.
and we uh, like promoted to the second division.
Uh-huh.
So it was like really nice. Like my first professional season, I promoted, and then came back here this August, and I was kind of bouncing around clubs because I
Hmm.
didn't have a contract yet, and I was really pushing to get to like the pro league here, which is the first division of the local clubs. I was really pushing to get to their second teams, similar to like MLS Next Pro. They have like the same thing here,
Yeah.
like the reserve clubs for the top division. So I was in and out of trials with a lot of those clubs. I was at a club called Irish FC. I was training with them. Uh, like it's in the name. Like a lot of the players are from Ireland and England, so they're also in the third division. And then I ended up signing in January this January with Madanat FC,
Hmm.
and like we just finished our season, so we're in the second division.
Awesome. So you guys got promoted as well?
Oh no, we stayed in like mid table.
Oh, okay. You were already in the second division.
Yeah, yeah, last
Okay.
year with the Team D Gardens, we got promoted from third to second.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And like being like as a pro now, what kind of lifestyle changes have you noticed have differed from with before when you weren't and then now? Like kind of what does your day to day look like?
Yeah, like we were talking about this before the call. Like I don't think
Yeah.
much changed for me. Like I started mentoring a few players on the side because
Hmm.
I train them personally. So like something I could do from here is mentoring. And like in when we have our meetings, I always have this quote. The first thing that we start with is, if you want to become a pro, you need to live like one long before you do.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to live like a pro way before you ever become a pro.
Yeah.
Because if you just think about it, like the pros are training so hard every day. They're training like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, plus recovery, plus tactical, plus physio, plus they're playing the games.
Even
So like
nutrition.
if you're not even doing that and you're not the pro level, just think they're doing it and they're already a pro.
Yeah.
So like if you're not even a pro and like let's say me at like 15, I was just in Spain, U15, like I tried to replicate that as much as I could.
Yeah.
So like for me, like when I transitioned to the pro game, like in UE Division 3, it was like the same things I was doing. Like I was living by myself last year in a small apartment. I just got an apartment right next to the field,
Hmm.
like that we train at, so it was very easy. And like I would wake up in the morning, I would get like my individual training in. Like as you know, like I'm very big on individual training,
Yeah.
like working on my own skills and everything like that. So like every morning I would train for about an hour. You know, I used to have like a meal service for lunch and dinner,
Hmm.
and then like breakfast, just cook on my own and like focus on my nutrition. And then during the day, I would work on a lot of networking,
Hmm.
uh, because like I always made this mistake of like training 2 3 hours a day, but only doing like half an hour networking. And when I upped that, like I started getting more connections.
Yeah.
So like I was training 3 hours a day plus 2 3 hours of networking, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
I think like people neglected like how we were talking about. So I did that during the day and tried to make some money online because like I've been not dependent on my parents. Like I told them that like when I was 17, like I want to make my own money and field my own dreams.
Hmm.
So like I started trying to like trade stocks or mentor players, do tactical analysis for players, things online that I couldn't do back home.
Yeah.
And then in the evening we had training from like 7 to 8:30, and then just come back home, dinner, try doing foam rolling, stretching, recovery for the next day because you're training like 4 days a week, and
Yeah.
like training sessions are intense. And like I told you, like I was playing with a lot of African players last year, so it's very intense, fast, physical. Coming after training, getting like bloody knee, legs hurting, and like there's no one there. It's just you, right?
Yeah.
Just you there, like and like I think one thing like players should focus on after like going when they're just climbing up the level is recovery,
Yeah.
because a lot of people neglect it. Like my father, he's a nutritionist, so he's very big on recovery.
Hmm.
And like he told me, like it's always like the player who can get back faster and recover faster, he's going to go more ahead than the players who are good but they're consistently injured or not feeling well.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to get more opportunities. So like a lot what I would focus on is recovery. So that means good nutrition, active recovery, foam rolling, stretching, taking care of your sleep. So those things are very important. I think adding that on to your own training, your team training, and developing like a mindset and tactical side of the game. And
Yeah.
also like I think mental side of the game is very important because like now you're playing with adults. Sometimes you're playing with people who they're doing it to put food on the table, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different mindset than you're playing like in academy and stuff. So people are there to like fight and make sure they're playing and they're getting going up the levels. So like your mindset is very important. So having somebody you can talk to, or keeping your mind clear, meditation, journaling. So like I would say a lot of the small things that academy players and players who are not at the top level yet, like they need. That's the best thing. Like, and I strive for more every day. So like seeing what little things I can add on. It's
Yeah.
not so much the big things, but the little things make a big difference.
No, for sure. I mean, like that's one thing, like going back to what you said about it's not much different your lifestyle from before. I mean, that's something that our old coach Jake Sayer, he would tell us a lot, is a lot of these guys that want to go pro, they say, hey, like you have to train gym here, you have to go uh do this in the like 2 sessions a day, like you have to fix your diet, you have to be focused, all those things. And they say, yeah, I'll do that when I sign my contract.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the guys who are actually doing it, you're not going to be prepared like when you
Yeah.
get there to the guys that are doing it every single day, multiple times a day, 100% focus. It's and it's I mean we keep connecting it to the business world, but it's like if you want to get a promotion in your job, you have to live the role that you're doing. You have to be able to show the kind of things like if you want to get to a senior position, you look at what the responsibilities are of a senior and you do those things. So that way when people say, hey, is this guy ready, it's he's already doing it. It's that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And like also just like the kind of stuff that you're saying about like the mental aspect, the learning to make like the income on the side and those kind of things. Like we're not, even if you make it to the highest level possible, you're playing Real Madrid, Barcelona, those teams. When you're 40 years old and you can't play anymore, what do you do?
Yeah,
There's so much more to life than just
yeah,
soccer. So it's good that you're developing those other
yeah.
skills as well.
And like, if you don't mind me saying something,
Yeah, no.
like nowadays, a lot of players are like if you see in the top level, like they're actually smart, like not just
Yeah.
on the field, but off the field. Like they know what they're doing with their money. They
Hmm.
know like to be in the right around the right people, to have healthy relationships. Like that stuff is really important. And
Hmm.
like they're setting themselves up for success with like now really big is like personal branding. Maybe coaching. Like they're already like setting up investments because they're already like the players at the top level are making like loads of money. They're already like the smart ones are setting themselves up and their family and their generations up forever. So they're getting really smart, not
Yeah.
just on the field.
No, for sure. I mean, it comes down to kind of like the education when you get to those kind of experiences. Because I won't say who, but like I've spoken with somebody before that's played in the second division of a top five league, and they were making like a a lot of money. Like they if they continued, and they're a very talented player as well. They continue going, like build that wealth, everything, they'd be set for life. And he was playing with me in a like a lower league, and just kind of like trying to figure out what happened, and spent that money on parties, on drugs, on cars, all those things, and all the money was gone, lost the contract, and
Yeah,
not there anymore. So it's like like you said, the players in the top, they're very smart, and there's a reason they're at the top.
yeah,
They're very educated, and the people around them are educated as well.
yeah, of course. And like one thing like my father says is like the players at the top, like there's like I said, like the small things, like
Hmm.
it's not just about the playing. Like they know how to talk to their teammates, they know how to talk to their coaches, they know
Yeah.
how to keep their health good, they know how to keep their relationships good and their money good, like as well. Like you said, like once you make a small slip in the top level, you're gone.
Yeah.
And like we've seen that with so many players you see at the top level, like they're finished. Like you make one slip and you're gone. So it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, like the club is paying you so much money at that level. Is like you're there to work and like
Yeah.
produce what you can. So like for that 15 year career that you have from like let's say 20 to 35 is like you need to be focused at all times, especially if you're playing at that top level. You
Exactly.
know, but like a lot of players is like you said is like I'll get focused at that time,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work like that. You might survive for a year or two, but like it's really ruthless out here.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, um no, this is super like interesting conversation. And I mean, you're playing in the second division in UAE right now, right?
Yes.
I mean, we were talking about it a bit before. I think it'd be interesting to kind of for the people listening. But Al Kabila, I mean, that's the big team that everybody knows over there right now. Are they in the second, or are they in the third division?
They're in the third division currently.
Okay.
Like once you create a club here in the UAE, you start automatically at the third division.
Hmm. Okay. And have you been able to, when you were in the third division, were you ever with them, or was that the season after?
Yeah, so Alkibila just started this season.
Yeah.
I was in third division last season, so
Gotcha.
I never got to play against them or anything. But I've seen them play, and now they have some quality players.
Yeah.
They've built a lot of fame online.
Yeah. And they look like they're getting promoted soon. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they will.
Hmm.
They actually played yesterday in a must-win game to promote, um, but they drew.
Oh,
So
wow.
they still, I think they have two more games left, and I think the top four teams from Division Three are promoting,
Mhm.
so they're trying to sneak into that fourth place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. I know it's unrelated, but just thought it was a bit interesting that,
yeah,
because it's just a kind of a name that a lot of people know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate your time. This was super, super interesting to listen to. Is there anything that you want to promote or share, or kind of shout out right now?
Like for obviously, like I want to talk about Potros a bit. Like I think like it's really what I'm really impressed at right now is like I was telling you I've been watching all the games, like most of the games. I
Hmm.
like you guys like when you guys play, I'm usually sleeping at this time zone. So like
Yeah.
the next day it comes on my YouTube and I watch the games, like I'm really impressed that, like, even at, like, in the UPSL or USL2, like teams are not really consistent,
Yeah.
because there's so many players, like they're moving in and out like crazy.
Mhm.
And like one thing I think about Poachers is like the environment, to create good results is always there. Like it's always professional, and like you guys are taking care of the players well, and like the players like have been, at a good level for the past, I would say, like 3 or 4 years. Like, whatever group that's in or out, like the level has been pretty consistent.
Awesome, man. Really
Yeah.
appreciate that. That means a lot, especially like because I mean you've seen so many clubs, so many different things, so that means a lot coming from somebody who's seen the professional standard firsthand.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, like it's very difficult. I know at like a semi-pro level, some players are in and out, and
Yeah,
it's matters the environment. Like I always tell people, like the environment on how the club treats you is like how the players will be. So like if the trainings are good, and the vibe is good, like it creates a good and safe environment for the players, and then only the players can excel. Like I think, like for the players as well, like they want to feel good, not just in trainings and matches, but in relationships with the coaches and
yeah.
players, and that's how they're going to play better.
No, for sure. Awesome, man. Well, again, really appreciate you taking the time, and I'll talk to you later.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah.